When I tell you that I have seen a few things in this short life of mine, you will not believe. You will not believe. I'm kidding. My life has not been that short. I can't believe I'm this old. Today I'll tell you the story of how I ended up dating a Catholic priest. Don't judge me. Don't. It was a few years ago. I was traveling from Bamenda to Yaoundé and I got a ticket quite late, so I was almost at the back of the bus. Like I was at the back of the bus, but not the last seat. And on the last seat, there was this group of boys. Oh, let me fix this. So there was this group of boys making a lot of noise, and they were making themselves being noticed by everybody in the car. I noticed them because I was trying to sleep and the noise was just too much. They were making too much noise. There is one point halfway called Makinini where the bus stops and you can do what you want to do. You can go to the toilet, you can get food and all whatnot. I obviously got food. This body is a body coming from food. I eat a lot. I eat too much. I must admit. So So I stopped there and I got food. When I came back to the bus, my neighbor was not yet there. I always sit where there are two spots, two seats. So I don't like being choked. I don't like being compressed. So I always take the position where there's just two people are supposed to sit there. So my neighbor was not yet there. One of those boys at the back came and sat at my neighbor's place and was like, "What is that? Why did you get that type of food?" He was trying to make me feel bad about my choice of food. Like, hello, get a life. Like, it's my life. I do what I want to do with it. He even tried to give me his own food, and I said, no, I don't want it done. I was not even willing to talk to him. He was stopping me from eating. The main event is the food. He was stopping me from eating. So my neighbor ended up coming back because we just have few minutes there. My neighbor came back and we had to kick off, so he went back to his seat, and he made even more noise. Like the noise was becoming, and this time around, they involved people in the bus. Like they would just start up a debate, then try to get everybody involved. Every time he'll be like, "Hey, my sister, what do you think?" He would try to involve me in the thing. I was too tired. I was too tired to deal with that. So I just stayed quiet. And when we got to the agency, those who travel by night from Bamenda know that leaving from Bamenda to Yaoundé these days, due to the Anglophone crisis, we leave too early. And when you get here, it's like 2 a.m. The neighborhood where I lived back then was not recommendable. It was too far into the badlands. So if you attempt to leave the agency at that time, it is either the person taking you home, like the bike rider or the taxi driver, is going to rob you, or the thieves in your neighborhood are going to welcome you by collecting all the things you brought for them. So I stayed in the bus. A lot of people could go, a lot of people did go. So I stayed in the bus, and when everything got cleared out, I noticed he had stayed back too. So he came and sat beside me. We were talking. We talked about a lot of things, what we do with our lives and stuff like that. And I don't know. One of the first questions that I asked him is, "Are you a priest?" He said no. He did not even hesitate. He said no, he's not a priest. Then he asked me, "Why do you ask me that type of question?" I said no. There's just this energy about you. Like I have never asked any boy before from the first day, "Are you a priest?" I don't think I've ever asked anybody else that question, but there was just this thing about him. There was just I do not know. Maybe it's because I was raised in a Catholic family and I got so used to seeing them that I just feel a certain way around them. I just knew there was something wrong about this guy. Not wrong, but there was something he was not telling me. That was probably my instinct telling me that that was not going to work, that there was something funny about the guy. But did I listen? No. We just kept discussing, and by 5 a.m., 3 hours later, we had talked about so many things. We got tired and slept off. Then we finally went to our respective houses after exchanging our phone numbers. The following days, we talked a lot on the phone. Your girl was already catching feelings. He told me a lot about himself. He told me he was a student in an African country, not Cameroon. I can't remember what country. Let's call him Marvin. So Marvin told me a lot about himself. He said his family lived in Bamenda, but due to the Anglophone crisis, he could not really be there often. He could not go live there with them. So he was living with his sister here in Yaoundé. One day he invited me over to his sister's place. She was heavily pregnant. My God, she was so beautiful. So I don't know what he told her, but she started treating me like a family member. She just welcomed me in a certain way. I have never seen that before. She was very welcoming, and it made me feel comfortable around them. A few days later, he asked me out. He said he liked me and he wanted us to be in a relationship. But I was hesitant. That feeling had not left me. That feeling that there was something there. And I asked him again, "Are you a priest?" He said no. He said no again. That whole situation would not let me say yes. I was actually really catching feelings already, but I could not say yes without clearing that situation out. There was this thing that made me even more uncomfortable than the priesthood situation. One day he invited me over to his sister's place again, and another girl came. She brought food, and she came to visit him. She brought food for him and all that. And if eyes could kill somebody, I would have died there. That girl would have used her eyes to kill me, like Superman powers, and just I would have died there. The food was actually very nice. I ate it all, but I could not talk because the girl would have really me there. Like, I don't know. I felt like there was something between them. There was an unsolved situation there, but she couldn't say anything either. She did not say anything either. And I don't know. I felt really uncomfortable after that. And I asked him what was going on between him and the girl. He said nothing. She's just a friend and stuff like that. But men, I just let it go because I was not dating him, and also I had solved the problem about him being a priest or not. I would not engage myself in that relationship. So it wasn't my business. I just let it slide. Not long after that, he went back to Bamenda, and that is when I really started doubting him. I grew up in Bamenda. It's a small city. Everybody knows everybody. Catholics know Catholics, and everybody knows everybody. Like small city issues. So, uh, for his birthday, the celebration was just wow. Like there were a lot of people I knew there. There were people from my childhood. We grew up together. I know they are very fervent Catholics and believers, and they're among these people who will always be around priests and around seminarists and stuff like that. So I know them. I was like, there's something here. When I saw the people, I asked him, "How do you know this person?" He was like, "I just know them from church." But if you just know them from church, what are they doing at your birthday? You don't live in Cameroon. You don't If he had told me that he grew up with them or he was in the same school with them or stuff like that, I would understand. He said he knows them from church. That is weird. Like, you don't live in Cameroon. How do you know people from church to the point where you invite them to your birthday and they are the ones making the cake, they're the ones organizing the birthday party for you? Another thing that really is when he would take pictures during the mass, and the angle was quite intriguing because he would take his own pictures from the altar. Like, not everybody can actually go up to the altar during the mass to take pictures. It's like he was already sitting there, and he just took pictures of people who were there during the mass. I was like, what are you doing at the altar? Why do you take your pictures from the altar? He was like, no, I was called to talk there, to explain something and stuff like that. How many times? Many, many times. Like all through the period he was there in Bamenda, he was participating during a lot of masses, and he was always posting. He was always posting the masses on his status. I was like, there's something fishy here. While he was there, I celebrated my birthday too without him. When he came back, he insisted on celebrating the birthday with me again. So he invited me to come celebrate the birthday. And this time around, he took a room at the hotel. Like, what happened to your sister's place? I just followed, I just played along. When we got there, we sat down and we're talking. He just noticed that I was not even in the mood for any of his blabbing. I was just sitting there, and the time I even saw the pictures from the altar in his phone, I asked him if he was a priest again. He said I can't really remember what he said at that moment, but the answer was not really convincing. Like there was something there. So I asked him again, are you in any ways related to priests? He said, all of us Christians are priests because at baptism we are told that we are priests, prophets, and kings. That's what we are told. So he said, all of us Christians are priests. From that moment, I just knew that there's nothing to explore in this relationship. There's nothing there. So when he invited me to the hotel and we were talking, he started bringing on the topic again. Before I could even say I don't want to talk about it again, he said, I am not a priest, but I am a seminarist. I was like, oh my god, oh my god. I just asked you, I have been asking you this since we met, from the first day we met. I asked you, why did you lie to me? Like, what what were your intentions? Apparently he was catching feelings too, and he was feeling guilty not telling me about that and getting me involved in a complicated situation with the priest without my consent. So I am really grateful he did that. I am really grateful. I am not going to enter in the debate of whether or not priests should get married and all that. I am not going to enter in that debate, but he knew all the conditions he needed to fulfill before being a priest. He knew, but he decided to go in. So why? I asked him that. I asked him. He was like, his family always wanted to have a priest, and since he has always shown a lot of engagement in church and all that, the pushed him towards that direction. And I was like, all our parents try to push us in a certain direction, and if you let them do it, you live your life being miserable. So why did you not say no? His answer made me understand that he was there for the power. He was there for the power he got over people he preached to and stuff like that. I stood there and I looked at him. I just looked at him for like 30 minutes without saying anything. I stared. I could not. There were a few things that went through my mind, but nothing actually made sense. It was like, is this guy really serious? I just looked at him. A lot of things were going through my head, a lot of questions. I thought about his sister. Like she knew, she knew there was something. She knew he was trying to have me date him. I think she even knew that there was something between him and that other girl, but she did not say anything. I've heard about families encouraging their sons who are priests to get a woman to bear him children and all that. There I was in the middle of all that. And this is exactly how I was when he told me, when he admitted he was in the seminary. I was just, I left. I told him never to call my number again. never to call me again. But he did not listen. He kept texting, he kept calling. I was like, what do you want from me? He said he wants love. He deserves love too. He's a human being. I asked him if he planned to leave the priesthood situation. He said no, he was going to be a priest. Like, so I asked him, what is my own role in this whole thing? What role do I have to play in it? What am I supposed to be for you? He couldn't answer my question, so I just told him, just get off my phone, don't call me again. He insisted. I had to block him. But once in a while he would change numbers and call me again. It's not even been up to 1 year when he called me again and said he misses me and stuff like that. I was just like, I told you never to call this number again. Don't ever call my number again. I don't think I've ever been that hard on anybody. I was like, don't ever call this number again. He just said, okay, I've heard. He hung up and he has never called since then. This is the longest time I have spent without receiving a call from him. Of course, every human being deserves to love and be loved. Of course, every human being deserves that. But if you're not okay with the way an institution like the Catholic Church handles things, do not encourage them to do that. You cannot want to marry. You cannot want to have a wife and all that, and you agree to enter into such an institution, hoping for somebody's daughter to accept it and bear the situation with you. I have heard of women who do that. I have even seen a woman who did that. She has kids with a priest. Should I be saying this? Anyways, so some women can actually do that, but me, I cannot. I cannot be loving and hiding. I No, it doesn't work like that. Of course, I'm not the type to post my relationship on social media. I'm not the type uh to be posting couple goal stuff and all that, but I want to be with the person that I love officially, not hide and seek. Who hide and seek? See me. I'll be playing hide and seek for what? For what? Ha! No me, no me. I I don't hate him. I do not feel some sort of resentment towards him. I just feel, if anything, I feel pity for him. Like, living your life in such a difficult situation, living your life being unable to express your feelings and all that. It must be a really difficult life to live. I just pray he finds the peace he needs. I hope he finds what he has been looking for. I hope I hope life treats him right. I just hope life treats him right. That is all I wish for you people. So I hope life treats you right. And like I always say, things are definitely going to get better. They definitely have to change and become better. Don't give up. Take care. Bye.